done snowed. I guess we got more coming later. Right now, I'm going up to the farm to get out of the house. So, let's see if we can actually do something today. Still on two-wheel drive, tires slipping a little. But yeah, we're gonna go out and see what we can get done. So I'll be back once I'm in the shop. Okay, well, we're at the farm. Put the seal in that yesterday. I'm losing track of days. What days it is? I gotta find my installer, and we'll get the harmonic balancer back on. I read up. There's no particular way to put that harmonic balancer on, since there's no keyway and no reference in the book about it. You just slide it back on. I was kind of curious because there was two dimples here, but according to the book, it don't mean nothing. And there, you can actually see the part number on that again. So that would be blessed to that the other day, so I want to get that ready and we'll get that on. And I may got one of you guys out there that's thinking about doing some work to your heads, and I might use this. One of you guys is talking about doing a little porting and polishing to your heads. Well, what the hell? Put the camera on, why not? Obviously that thing's going to need seats. There's no way you can grind that out, so that one's going to need a seat, and that needs to be blasted a little bit better. But anyway, on his heads that he's using, I guess what you got to watch is this curve here that goes into your head. You're going to have to look up inside your head if you can. You may not be able to on yours, but you got to remember, you got some of this is thinner metal there, and the same goes for the intake runner. The bottom of it, you don't have a whole lot on this head particularly. You don't have a lot as you look up in there. There's not. So basically all you really could do is just smooth the floors and the walls. And this head here is pretty good. There's no sharp edges though. There's not much that you would have to do to it. Now I see why the Vortec heads are so I mean, they've got a good smooth. There's no sharp edges. And like I told him, I said, you want to do all your sanding and smoothing before, like right there, you got a little bit of a lip. You could massage that in and remove that. But you want to do all that before you do your valve job, just in case. I don't care how careful you are. If you nick that with your sanding flap or whatever you're using, your die grinder, you nick this area right there and there, you're going to have to either, depending on how bad you did it, either cut it out for bigger valves or cut it out and have seats put in. So that's why I always do any smoothing or sanding of anything before I have the valve job done. But on top of that, before you do that, you really should have your heads cleaned and crack checked, so you don't do a whole bunch of work to a set of heads. It'd be good practice work, yes, but it'd be a big waste of time to do all that porting and polishing and gasket matching. Because yeah, that's the other thing here. If you got your gaskets, you want a gasket match. This area is pretty, out here is pretty forgiving. You can gasket match it, but still you got to watch it. So, but yeah, usually what I do is clean and crack check them, bring them back home, do the work to them, and take them back and let the shop do the valve job and get it all set up. So anyway, that's kind of one thing I wanted to touch on today. And I want to get going in the shop again, because yesterday was pretty rough, but so far today's better, which is good. So we're going to get the harmonic balancer back on the 4200 here. I'll find that stuff and we'll get working on that. So, alright. Okay, I think I got everything here now. We got our installer using the same one as the LS motor. Threads off a little. Okay. Got that. Got the cleaned and prepped harmonic balancer. I'm going to put just a little bit white lithium on there so that seal's not dry. Put it there, but can't. Oh, don't waste time there. Anyway, yep, there's no keyway, and the only time you worry about putting these back on the 5.3s, and I think it's just Corvette motors, when you see they got the, no, this is different style, but on the Corvette motors, they've got weights added. Those motors, you are supposed to actually mark the crankshaft and the harmonic balancer so you get it back in the relatively the same spot. So, there's that. Yeah, this cat sheds a lot. Get that. All right. I'll just now proceed to there's a hose on the back. She spins over good. Oh. Yeah, you guys go. Alright. I'll back it off this time, so it's ready to use next time. Bought some of the Sears Craftsman cheap wrenches because I had some missing, and I can tell you, quality on Craftsman, it's going way down because this 5/8 don't fit like it's supposed to. Anyway, okay, that's back on now. Actually, I guess I could put the pulley on this one. Or I could take it off the car too. So let's see. Where'd the bolt go? Where did the? Oh, here it is. Now we gotta get this installed. That I gotta look up the torque. So we'll be back and we'll figure out how we're going to hold the motor and get that thing cranked on there. So, all right. Oh, I guess I'm still recording. Or, well, maybe you guys... Yeah, I don't know, anyway. I guess make sure you back the pressure off on your torque wrench when you're done. I don't know what we got or not, but... Anyway, I torqued the... If I didn't get it, I torqued at the 111, went to do the 180, and the motor wants to roll over on the stand, so... I gotta figure something out, so... Alrighty. What the hell's going on with my camera? Alright, don't yell at me too much, but I gotta do stuff. I got to do stuff, so yeah, guess what? You can hear the hot take going in the background. We got the crank in there now. Talked to the wife. I was going to make the wife help do the final clean and wipe down and everything, but she'd rather just come out and start putting it together, so I manhandled the block. I gotta get some projects done so I can build a crane over there to swing motors and that in. So yep, we got that. The paint didn't come off the block as much as I wanted, but that is a fresh 60 over motor. And I'm getting the crank all cleaned up. I brushed out the oil galley holes and got it in there, cleaning it up, so we'll rinse it off here in a little bit and blow it dry, then WD-40 it. Now that I've showed you this, I've WD-40'd this block to keep it from flashing. I took a few rags, sprayed the WD-40 on them and wiped all the cylinders out. And then I went and sprayed the lifter valley with WD-40 and the inside of the motor, just so that doesn't flash on you and turn green and everything else. So I'll do the same thing to the crank, and then we're just putting that. I'm either going to put the crank in a bag, or I'm going to use my cellophane wrap and wrap that sucker up and keep it clean. And then hopefully in the next few days we can get the wife out here and we can start building this 350. And I want to point something out too with this. And I'll probably do it again in the main video on this build. The reason this motor's not getting a lot of special treatment is this area right here. Get a good shot. See how that's thin here, thick there? But it goes through. All my other blocks, majority of them, is almost equal or perfect. Wise tale is, when they're off like this, that means the core shifted and they're off. It's supposedly off. I've ran motors that way before in the stock car, and I really didn't notice a difference. But when stuff ain't equal, it makes you wonder. So, and this one's thin there, thick, and on the back. And see on the back, it's almost perfectly equal. That's what they say is the core shifted and things didn't get cast quite right. So, but it'll make a good just stock 350 to put in a pickup or just an old cruiser. Nothing that you really want to have fun with. So that's another thing I look for on my blocks. And then there's something about the 10 and the 20. I think that's the nickel and iron, and I don't ever remember seeing a 509 on the block other than a 400 4-bolt main. But, well, what year is this? This one is a E29 of 5, so it's a B, C, D, E. It's a 75 or 76 motor, 2-bolt. So, and it's already been through there's gray under here, and I think that was either Gopher or Marshall engine rebuild. And when he went to bore this motor, he set it up for going 60 over because it was at 40. And he says whoever cut the ring ridge out of that almost screwed the block. He said it damn near didn't cut the top of the cylinder. I'm like, really? So, and right now I sprayed this early enough so the WD-40 will evaporate and dry up, but I'm going to get that in a bag now, and yep, we're just getting this ready for the wife. So, alright. Well, there you go. The crank's all cleaned up, shined up, and decat haired, and all the passageways are cleaned out and brushed out, and yep. So it's finally cooled off enough I didn't want to wrap it up when it was hot, so it's sweat on us. So I guess I'll get that wrapped up and protected, and I guess I'll call it a day. Anyway, so, well guys and gals, I guess we'll see you guys later. We'll figure out what we're going to do next, so take her easy. Bye.